What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Nia, the video game her, and we're gonna be doing another episode of TVG versus DC. I got some music playing in the background because I felt like maybe that would make my videos a little bit more interactive for you guys instead of just kind of hearing like blankness in the background whenever I'm talking. So let me know if the music is distracting. I will turn the music off for you guys. So we're gonna be talking about the last story arc that I was talking about last week, which was not last week but the week before, which is Fracture. So we're still on Fracture. This is part 3 of Fracture, and y'all, if it sounds like I'm kind of down today, it's because this issue did get me down. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this issue really got me like in my feelings. Like, I'm so in my feelings about this issue. But we're going to talk about it. So before we delve into the meat and potatoes, let's go ahead and talk about the characters of note. So the characters of note this issue would be Tomar 2, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Phantasm or Phantasm, I don't really know how you would say that, who is a Yellow Lantern, Romat Rue, Yellow Lantern, and Soranik, who is now the leader of the Yellow Lantern Corps, and then also Bofanga. So pretty much the same people from last week. We're still kind of focusing on those characters a little bit more this week. So let's go ahead and do a play-by-play of what happens. So it starts off with a flashback to the moment between Romat Rue and Tomaru. So first, you see Tomar 2 and Phantasm, who's a Yellow Lantern. They're partners right now. Remember, I talked about how last episode, I talked about how now the Yellow Lanterns have to have a partner with the Green Lantern. So there's a green and there's a yellow. They're partnering together. So Tomar 2's partner at the moment is Phantasm, and they went to confront Romat Rue, actually. So they gave him a choice. You can either atone for your sins and become a member of the Green Lantern Corps and start anew, or we can send you to a science cell, which is a jail cell type of prison thing that the Green Lanterns have on Mogo, and live out the rest of your days there. So, of course, Romat Rue, he's kind of doing this in a roundabout way. He did agree to go ahead and go to a science cell, but not without some kind of conflict, right? So Romat Rue, he surrenders, but he kind of goes on this whole spiel about how, he killed children and he has no regrets, basically. So he killed Zudarian children. Remember last episode, I talked about how Romat Rue and Tomar 2, they're both Zudarians, both from Zudaria, they're the same people. So he bragged about basically killing kids, and he said that the reason why he killed the kids is because the kids, they obviously grow up to be future leaders and doctors and things like that. And I'm assuming his reasoning is because maybe if there's no future leaders, there's nobody to get older and question him and the way that he was running the sector. I don't know. He didn't really go into all of that. And he even kind of joked with Tomar 2 about how fun it would be if he had killed Tomar when Tomar was a kid, when his daddy was the one, out here with the Green Lantern Corps and enforcing rules in the universe and stuff like that. So obviously this really upsets Tomar 2, and he lights Home Dude up. Like in the scene, his body was completely charred and his skin was like falling off of his bones. So yeah, so that happened, and that just, my heart dropped from that scene. That was like, this whole issue has me in my feels. So of course Phantasm was like, that was not a good idea. He surrendered. There was no reason for you to light this dude up like this. He was talking smack. That did happen. But he did surrender. You have to take him into custody, put him in a science cell, and be done with it. So, Tomar 2 basically tells him he deserved it because of his crimes against Zudar. And he basically kind of told Phantasm, like, look, you didn't see nothing. Basically threatened him. You didn't see nothing, right? And and Phantasm was like, he warns Tomar, he was like, you know what? I've killed a lot of people, and let me tell you, this decision that you made today, it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And of course, they went over to another scene with little creatures that record data in their memory, like on the planet, just watching everything that just happened, right? So then we go over to another scene where Hal, in the present time, is confronting Tomar 2. And Tomar, he's all on the ground, he's sniveling, he's very apologetic. He's like, Hal, I'm so sorry. So John then steps into the dorm, and he also confronts Tomar and says, give up your ring. You killed somebody, give up your ring, right? So, Hal is saying, well, Romot was a serial killer of kids. Maybe there's a reason why Tomar did this. And so John revealed to Hal that he actually saw the footage of Tomar killing Romatru. And he told Hal, he's like, look, Romatru surrendered, but he still lit this dude up. That's not okay, right? So that's John's position. It's not okay. You're a criminal. You need to give up your ring. You need to, accept your punishment. So Hal is basically trying to barter with John at this point, saying how, well, Tomar, he's one of our best, right? He's one of our best. His daddy was one of our best, and he's a friend. And John, of course, comes back with, well, Sinestro was once a Green Lantern. He was also once your friend, but that doesn't change the fact that he did all of this bad stuff. So John ain't having it. Basically, Hal is trying to take up for Tomar. John is not having it. So, Tomar understands this. So he's getting ready to take his ring off. And when he warns them before he takes his ring off, like, look, the box that I was using to house Romatru's ring is being bound together by my will. So if I take this ring off, this ring is gonna, is gonna find a replacement, and then everybody's gonna know that Romatru's dead, and I probably had something to do with it. So John, told him, well, that's my problem to worry about now, right? So he takes off the ring, and John takes the yellow ring that was Romatru's ring. So then we move on to another scene where Soranik is speeding towards where Kyle is to confront him. She's still pissed from last issue, and when she sneaks up on him or whatever, he doesn't even turn and know. He just knows that it's her that's there, and he's kind of like, well, have you come up with a decision yet? Have you decided to be a Green Lantern again? And so she ain't having it. She was like, look, I'm pissed at you. How come you didn't tell me we had a kid? So obviously Sora's like mad. She's super hella mad right now. So then they phase back over to John, and John is making his way to the science cells where Bofunga is at. So now at this point, Bofunga knows that Bofunga knows that John found out the truth. So he's like, oh, so you found out, And so John kind of roughs him up a little bit, and threatens to tell Bofunga's flunkies, basically the people who were at the compound where Guy and Arkillo went to find the information last issue. They kind of like beat everybody up and was like looking through the hideout and things like that. So he threatened to tell Bofunga's flunkies, his crew, that he basically tried to save his own butt by threatening, with the information about Tomar 2 and stuff like that. And of course, Bofunga, I guess he wants his people to respect him. So he's like, no, don't do that. So he ain't feeling that. But that was pretty much the end of that. So then we go back to the scene with Soranik and Kyle. So Soranik's still pissed, because she didn't know about Sarko. And Soranik's a doctor. She's a surgeon. And she's really, how can I put this? She's really bent out of shape over the fact that not only is Sarko her son, but she done ripped his chest all out and stuff to kind of look in his insides, get his DNA samples and check for contagions and things like that. basically mutilating his body to kind of, figure out what's so special about this dude, only to find out that she was opening up and basically mutilating her own son to get this information. So that really kind of like, that really is kind of what she's on right now. Like, I didn't know this dude was my son. I didn't open his chest cavity and all that all out with my surgeon tools, and this was my kid. So obviously she's pissed, and I don't blame her. So, Kyle is pleading with her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hide this from you. I was gonna tell you, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, you weren't gonna tell me. You were so selfish and not in keeping this information from me. And she believes that the only reason why he kept that information from her is so that he would not lose her. So she's mad. She's really, really mad. So she got so mad that she struck him. She punched him in his chest. And she freaking left an indentation of the freaking Yellow Lantern symbol in his chest. So she pretty much beat him up real bad. So then we pan over to another scene. Hal is talking to Tomar. So Tomar, he's pretty much been confined to his dorm. And John told Hal, do not let this man leave his dorm. So Hal and John are talking. Tomar's still very apologetic, still very remorseful, still telling Hal he's so sorry. And Hal Jordan is really understanding, he's really supportive, and he's letting Tomar know, like, hey, I got your back, homie. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get through this together. So we go to another scene. Guy and Arkillo are playing cards. Kyle walks in limping and hurt, and they're like, oh my god, what happened? So Guy's all like concerned and junk, but nothing really comes of that. That's kind of like just showing that he got beat up pretty bad. So as the situation is happening with Guy and Arkillo trying to figure out what happened to Kyle, and between the conversation between Hal and Tomar in his dorm, when he's talking about how remorseful he is and stuff like that, John is over the intercoms making a PSA to all of the lanterns on Mogul. This actually surprised me, so let's go on with this. So he makes a PSA and he says by name, it has come to my attention that one of the lanterns has confessed, a Green Lantern has confessed, and he even named Tomar 2 of Zudar, and then he mentioned that he killed Romot Rue. So he said he killed this dude, and there's gonna be a trial, and there's going to be a sentence. So obviously, as all of this is going on the overcom, Tomar's scared, and I don't blame him. So Tomar is scared, and it's funny because as soon as that PSA was over, there were Yellow Lanterns knocking on Tomar 2's dorm door, basically saying, let me at him. Where's the murderer? Let's get at this dude. You know what I'm saying? So he's already got like a mob of people waiting for him outside. And that hurts me. That hurts me. I love Tomar 2 so much. And I think a lot of the reason why I love him is because I loved his dad. Like, it hurts me that he's going through this, but at the same time, he deserves it. And it's like, my heart is breaking. My heart is so broken over this whole ordeal. But let's talk about my thoughts in general and why I feel like some of the scenes in here were important. So the first thing I kind of want to unwrap is the first scene with Fantas M, how he admits, as a part of the Yellow Lantern Corps, he's killed a lot of people under Sinestro's order, ordinance, or however you say that. He instructed them to do so. So he's killed a lot of people in the name of the Yellow Lantern light, rules, Sinestro's law, whatever. And he's very remorseful. And so the fact that he's had an opportunity to start actually working with the Green Lantern Corps and atone for his sins, he still feels bad for what he's done, but he still is humbled by the fact that he's able to kind of make it right by working with the Green Lantern Corps. So the fact that Phantasm, who is a Yellow Lantern who did some bad things under Sinestro, is the one who is the voice of reason when it comes down to the situation with Tomar and Romot, that was telling to me. It really kind of brought to light that Tomar was really acting out of character because he knows the law. He was raised by Tomar Ray, who was that person who made sure, like, hey, we gotta stick by the rules. These are the rules. We're here to enforce the law. We are not the law. And his daddy understood that. And so Tomar too, for him to kill Romot like that, he was kind of going over and beyond his character. And you know, the Green Lantern Corps are supposed to be the conscious ones, if I'm to kind of say, amongst all of the corps in the universe. So for Tomar to be kind of senseless in his actions, and for Phantasm, the Yellow Lantern, to kind of be like, that's not right, that kind of says something, you know what I'm saying? So in that moment, Tomar 2 was not himself, and it just kind of further brings home the point that it doesn't matter if you're a red lantern, if you're a yellow lantern, if you're green. It doesn't matter what light you don, it's the wielder. It's all about the wielder. And that's one of the most interesting things I feel like about the Green Lantern Corps, is that there's no distinct good and there's no distinct bad, because for the most part, all of them see themselves as good and what they do to be justified. So it's like, kind of like how in real life, it's not about, you know, if you're, you know, a police person or not. Like, either you have those morals inside of you to do right, or you use your power to kind of treat people wrongly, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of is what it is. And it's the same thing with the Green Lantern, and that's what makes all of the characters and the dynamics of the universe so varied and diverse and interesting to me. So let's move on, because I kind of went on that for a little bit. So another thing that I also kind of felt was interesting is that after Tomar has kind of had some time to kind of simmer down after this whole situation, he's kind of now regaining himself. He's starting to feel guilty now, and he's now willing to accept his punishment. Even though Hal is like, no, it's okay, we're going to get through this. Tomar's like, nah, what I did was wrong, period. Another thing that's interesting to me that I actually said that wasn't gonna happen, because you know, last week I did my predictions and I thought that Hal was gonna be the one to tell everybody what happened, and John would be the one to kind of keep the information close to his chest, to keep the peace inside of the Corps. But actually what's happening is that John is the one who just went ahead and just told everybody in a PSA, and bringing these actions to light. And he's following law. He's following the order of things. He's not trying to hide it like I thought he was. He's actually coming up to the forefront and saying there will be a trial and there will be a sentence. So that's not really uncharacteristic of John, but I thought that he was probably going to be a little bit selfish on this one and try to keep it under wraps. So kudos to John for doing the right thing. Even though we love Tomar, this is correct. This is the right thing to do. Another interesting thing that I noticed when reading this is that we know that Tomar has had a hard time sleeping and focusing, and a lot of it I thought was because he felt guilty, but a lot of the reason why he couldn't sleep is because he couldn't sleep, because his will was keeping that box enclosed, so Romot's ring wasn't able to get out. So I thought that was interesting. It just kind of proves that he knows he was wrong, and like the willpower that he has within him to keep this information under wraps is real strong. If he was able to keep that box together with his own willpower for that long, like, it's pretty deep. Another thing to note is that right now Soranik is completely irrational. Like, she's branded freaking Kyle with her ring. Like, she roughed him up real good. Like, she is not in a good place right now. She's not in a good mindset right now. And she even mentioned when she was talking to Kyle and she was being really aggressive to him, like, I may be a Natu by name, but I'm a Sinestro by blood. And I'm just like, is she gonna go dark then? Like, does that mean that she's gonna go dark and she's gonna start acting like her daddy and making some of these really crazy decisions? I don't know. And another thing that I felt was important in all of this as well is that the PSA, man, that PSA is already starting a big fuss already. And now Tomar is basically public enemy number one on Mogo. These yellow lanterns are gonna get at him. If they don't get him somewhere safe, like, Tomar's gonna die. Because everybody wants to kill him. So probably what's gonna happen is there's probably gonna be the yellow lanterns are gonna try to get him. They're probably gonna try to kill him and try to avenge Romatru. But then that might make some of the green lanterns, you know, maybe try to get on Tomar's side and take up for him and try to, you know, take up for him and stuff like that. And maybe that can cause some kind of like clash, you know what I'm saying, between the yellow and the green. So I don't know, man. I thought I knew what was gonna happen. I thought I had a pretty good prediction line last week, but this issue just completely blew all my predictions out of the water, man. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm in my feelings. I didn't even want to make this video. I'm so in my feelings right now. Like, I didn't want this for him. I did not want this for him. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. DJ DZ indeed had to stop through and say what's up. Oh, what's up? AG Cooler, Nia going down the comic book lane. I like it. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I feel like I should start making more. Like, I read a lot of comics, but I don't make videos about them. So I'm kind of trying to start actually doing that. Let's see. I need to start reading DC again. Too much of an Image comic fanboy right now. I want to get into some Image stuff. Like, I want to read so much stuff, but like the Rebirth books pretty much have me like tied. Like, I'm reading so many of them right now, it's not even funny. I think I might drop some of them though, because it's starting to kind of get overwhelming low-key. Nia might as well do a weekly comic series. I don't want to do it weekly, just kind of when big stuff happens. Walking Dead, Spawn. Oh yeah. I have no idea what's going on, but it sounds awesome. Green Lantern is awesome to me. Green Lantern is definitely hands down my favorite comic universe. Anyway, you guys, I didn't want to make this video long. I kind of want to make these digestible for you guys, so no longer than 30 minutes. I try to keep it around 20. But that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. Thanks for everybody who came and stopped by to watch it live. Sorry I couldn't really stop to take questions or talk to you guys because I want to make sure that this is up and people can just watch it freely if they are watching the archive. So I'ma bounce and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.